The GallowgateShots podcast is sponsored by Tyre Spot, the North East's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the GallowgateShots YouTube and podcast channel. We are back with another match preview. This time we turn our attentions to the EFL Cup, where we will be facing AFC Wimbledon, to give them their full name, just to please Mark. It's on Tuesday night. It's on the 24th of September. It's a 7:45 p.m. kickoff at Plough Lane. I haven't checked if it's on UK TV.
So it's on Sky Sports Plus. Sky Sports have got this thing button where basically, the red button.
It's on the red button. Because I know it's on my TV. It's on the Viaplay thing, so I didn't know if it was on UK. Last round, Wimbledon beat a Premier League side, Ipswich, that we've just found out because I wrote the wrong game down, on penalties, 4-2 after a 2-2 draw in normal time. So they are going to be looking to do the Premier League double this time. By the way, I'm Scott. I'm your host for this one, and I'm joined by Joe and Iain. If you haven't heard Ian's lovely tones just before there, and Joe is also here. Joe, hello.
Hiya.
I think he's on satellite today. There he is. Hello, Joe. I normally start these with some commentator stats, but the fact we've never played this version of Wimbledon, and I'm going to say this version because obviously we've played them in the past in the early 90s, going into the late 90s and 2000s with Wimbledon AFC, I believe they were called, and now they've moved
was
that
it the
to
Crazy Gang? Is that what they were?
The Crazy Gang, Vinnie Jones and the boys.
Yeah,
and was it F in a Cuckoo and all that lot? I can't remember any other players. I'm trying to think back to my old Merlin sticker books. This is before Joe was born, ladies and gentlemen.
I was going to say you have to educate me on this one.
I'll tell you when you're older. So we've never played them. Although on the Newcastle website, it's to say we're going to meet each other for the first time since January 2000. So they obviously treat them as the same team. I don't know what Wimbledon fans think about that. AFC Wimbledon fans think about that. I don't know how what they class themselves. Do they class themselves as the same club? If you're watching this as a Wimbledon fan, let me know.
Give a bit of knowledge, a bit of history. Learning.
It's MK Dons.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember there was a break off, and I don't know how it works. And educate us. But if we are treating them as the same, the last time, we have played Wimbledon in the League Cup on 2 occasions with the London-based outfit. Is it London? Milton Keynes? Be classed as London?
That's it. Just outside of London.
Isn't it? I don't really say it's London. But I don't know. I suppose if you're in London, anything outside the M25 is the north. So there we go. They've beat with 2-1 in both of their third round ties against us in this round. So don't let that influence your predictions later on. I think I've said that now in every single match preview we've done this season so far. So there we go. So that was in 1988-87 season, and then 1993 and 1994. So that was well before Joe was born, and maybe even before you were born, Iain.
No.
87, 88?
87, 88. I just heard the wrong numbers there. Yeah, that was before I was born.
Yeah, well, there we go. It's not for me, but just. So there we go. So they've done the double on us in round 3. Maybe it's time for some redemption. We'll see. But apart from that, there's not much else because we've never played this version, like I've said, of AFC Wimbledon. And I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't really watched AFC Wimbledon play, so I don't know much about them. So for this preview, we're going to probably talk more about Newcastle, but I think we kind of have to, based on recent performances and what happened yesterday. There is a match.
Sorry?
There's nothing wrong. Oh, of course. Yeah, should we clap? Should we clap? Are we being happy? Clap? No. But yeah, obviously we are recording this the day after the Fulham game. We all know what happened there. The performance matched the result for once this season, and yeah, I think we need to discuss what is going to happen in this game, or what we predict is going to happen in this game in terms of players, lineups. It is the cup. Managers will usually rotate in these cups, but Eddie Howe bucks the trend a little bit in this one, Iain. Are you expecting wholesale changes?
So I'm a little bit conflicted on this, because usually he does put out a pretty strong lineup. Obviously, there was a few changes last round against Forest. We're seeing the return of Tonali, which was a welcomed addition. Going off Howe's pre-match comments against Fulham, he was saying it's up to players to put in performances that basically put them in the starting lineup. There's a number of players that aren't doing that. So whether that's just one of his lines that he feeds because he likes to keep a poker face, I don't know, or if he actually believes that, then they buy performances. There should be a plethora of changes, because especially from yesterday, there was, I'd say, more than half the team just completely disinterested, not looking the usual selves, looking at the likes of Gordon, who, like you said on the reaction yesterday, he put in 2 fairly good quality performances for England. He's come back and looked dire again. Not Kieran Dyer, no. And then you're looking at your midfield 3. Obviously, we've got a little bit more freedom in terms of making changes than we did last season. Obviously, we're plagued with injuries. So you do have the options. But then it's a case of, does he stick with his guns and put out a strong team in the hope of redeeming themselves, or does he give the people that, like some Miggy Almiron, who's not, I don't think he's featured much or at all this season.
Cameos, I think.
Yeah, maybe he's 5-10 minutes off the bench. Does he start players like him? Does he start Asula? Obviously, he came on yesterday, got some minutes. Probably the game was probably gone. It was a difficult situation to put him in, chasing the game away from home. So there is a lot of options, but like I say, based on form, there's a few that I wouldn't be starting, to be honest.
It's a weird one, Joe, because obviously he's made changes in the last game. There was a few surprises in the last game. He's also made changes in the last 2 games at half time. 3 in the Wolves game, Chesian, and then 2 yesterday at Fulham. So he's obviously, as Chris alluded to in the match reaction, he still doesn't know his best 11. And, with all respect to Wimbledon here, maybe he doesn't necessarily need to field his best 11 for this game. And obviously, we're jumping ahead here, but we do have quite a big game coming up at the weekend in Man City, where you're going to need your best 11. But if he doesn't know it, how does he pick it? It's a tough one.
It is. I think this game, to me, I look at it as a good opportunity to bed in more fitness into some of those players that need it. Like you say, he still doesn't know his best 11, but a game against a League One side who's going to be very dogged in defence and very. I don't want to go as far as say route one. I don't want to insult them by that, but it's going to be a lot more direct than what we used to see with Premier League teams. So I don't think going for your best 11 at this stage is probably necessary or even the best way to go about things. I've had a shot of just writing down what I think the 11's going to be. I actually think at the top you're probably going to see Gordon through the middle. I don't have confidence that he's going to start Asula, and I know you're probably going, well, if you're not going to start him now, when are you going to start him? I just don't see Eddie how he's not one to really throwing players into the deep end straight off, no matter what kind of game it is. The last time I can remember him playing fringe players from the off was when we had a lot of the time that was a necessity because of injuries and whatnot, and he was also a Premier League proven player. It's not often that you'll bring in a kid and just say, I'll start you from the off. Miley again last season, but again that was an emergency. We've got quite a few players that have started a fair bit this season, or got a lot of minutes that didn't play at the weekend. The likes of Kraft, Tino, Hall, Longstaff, Murphy. All these players I think might come into the 11. I wouldn't even be surprised to see the likes of Tonali and Longstaff start together, with Tonali playing that slightly deeper role. We've seen it happen. Typically in cup games, he does leave Bruno out, especially in the early stages, and you'll bring him on. Yeah. I don't think, I might be wrong here, but I don't think he started against Blackburn. I remember the likes of, Palace at home and Bournemouth at home last 2 seasons ago when we got through to the final. I don't think he started many of those games. So it's a good opportunity, to get a lot of these players more minutes. The one place I definitely don't think he's going to change things up is going to be in goal, because Pope just tends to start every single game if he's fit, and it makes sense because he's the better keeper. And going back to Wimbledon real quick, I've had a look at some of the highlights this season and the way that they play, and they typically go like a 3-5-2. So you're going to have these two big lads in the box, a lot of crosses coming in, overlapping wingers. If they do manage to get the ball, it's probably going to be 5 at the back, But you're going to need Dan Burn, the height of Dan Burn and stuff to knock those balls away, and because they score a lot of headers. So yeah, it's going to be quite a few changes, I think, but enough that it's still going to be a strong side.
Yeah, it's. The two centre backs kind of pick themselves at the moment, because you've only really got Emil Kraft. You could argue you could play Kelly there, but I think Kelly and Hall are the two that switch around when it comes to that. There's an argument for Matt Target. He is now back fit. He's not getting games. He needs game time.
We're not playing well enough to allow that, though.
Exactly. We're not. I do want to say, anyone listening, Wimbledon are now League 2, I think.
Oh, sorry, sorry.
Yeah,
it's League 1.
But,
my bad. League 2.
Just a little correction, because someone in the comments will do it.
So I appreciate that. I don't want to
may as well do it during the match, during the video. It's a weird one when it comes to the middle of the park, Iain, because obviously, the last match we started with Joe Linton and Willock with Bruno, and people were screaming for Tonali. I think Tonali started against Forest, if I remember right, in the last round.
Yeah.
And I'm fully expecting to see Tonali start this game. But it's a who does he start with? And I think Joe's hit the nail on the head with it being Longstaff. It's just who's the third? Or do we go with the 3 in the middle, or does Hal start with something different?
At the moment, he just seems to be hell-bent on 4-3-3. I know yesterday he did change it up a little bit. I think when he brought Murphy on, it looked like he was playing almost like a 4-4-1-1 and had Gordon sort of behind Isak as a little bit support. But then as the game progressed, Gordon was just floating around. I think you said it was like almost like a ghost role. I think he will stick with the 4-3-3. And like you say, it's a case of who he brings in, because I think he will go with Tonali and Longstaff. I don't know whether he'll maybe start Willock again. I think Willock, he looked all right yesterday. I thought when he came on against Wolves, I thought he looked pretty decent against Wolves. And again, he's a player last season that was just hindered by injury, so didn't have a lot of game time. So it might be a good opportunity to get some more minutes in his legs. And then you look at, I don't think you're going to, I agree with Joe, although I did sort of mention Asula before. I think you'll stick with Isak or possibly go Gordon through the centre. And then I think Barnes, I'm not sure on Barnes, because for me, he's been our best player this season. And I think in any game you want your best players to be playing, but like I say, there's a shout for the likes of Almiron to start. We've not seen him. I know he's probably going to be a bit poor player this season, but at the minute he cannot be any worse than what Gordon performances are. So maybe he's give him a chance. But yeah, I think like you say, I think the two centre halves pick themselves. It'll be interesting to see whether he goes with Trippier or Tino at right back, and then like you say, whether he goes Hall or Kelly left back. But it's at the minute it's hard for us to even predict, because like you say, he doesn't know what his best 11 is at the moment. And when they're going out and playing, I don't even think they know. Like, they don't look like a cohesive unit, so I don't think they know what their best role is, or tactically how to set up in the positions that they've been given. So, which, I mean, we're only 5-6 games into the season, but for me, that's a little bit of a concern. And I think coming up, obviously, against League Two opposition, I think was it Tranmere that was in League Two when we're.
Yeah,
I think that was the game that Kraft got injured. They were no mugs, mind. Personally, I don't think Wimbledon will be either. I think they'll look at how we've been performing. Yes, we've got points on the boards, and it doesn't look as bad as what it really is. But they'll not have any fear. The last round they've just knocked out Premier League opposition. Obviously, it's not a sort of established Premier League team. It was Ipswich who've just come up, but. They'll not be fear, and they're going quite well in their league as well. I think maybe 5th or 6th. I think they've not been beaten in
5th,
not been beaten in the last 5 games, so they'll be up for it. And I think this is a game as well where we'll see the attitudes of players and if they really want to be playing for Newcastle or. So I don't think it'll be easy by any stretch, but like you say, the dilemma of picking the players. Usually last season we had the opposite problem where we pretty much had to field the same 11 all the time, whereas this season we've got that bit of freedom to mix it up, but we've not found that formula that's clicked just yet.
My biggest worry is we've historically, since I was come in, struggled against a low block team, and if Wimbledon play like a 5-3-2 in defence. Obviously, I go back to the Blackburn game last season. We really struggled because we're not a team that typically pings balls into the box.
Yeah,
we have the inverted wingers and we try to play through balls more often. And I just worry that unless we play someone like an Osula who is seems to be quite good in the air and has a bit of presence about him, I just worry that we're gonna be all huff and puff again, and we're just not gonna really penetrate the defense too much. I mean. My predicted front threes, Barnes, Gordon and Murphy. I think you'll probably rest Isak, or at least have him on the bench. And again, I just worry that without that big physical presence up front to begin with, we're just going to see that where we have a lot of possession, we press forward, but we just can't quite break them down.
Really
I hope
penetrative.
I'm wrong. No, and that's my biggest worry, I think. But we'll see. I mean, Tonali's looked really good at his forward passing, so he could be the link. Depends how deep he's playing.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the other question is as well, and this is something more that we kind of know that Paul Mitchell's kind of renowned for. Maybe he's not so much Eddie Howe, but maybe there's an influence that's going to filter down is, maybe he's fielding some youngsters. Again, I'm giving as much respect as I can to Wimbledon, but they are a League Two opposition. Maybe this is one of the games to give maybe someone like Sanasai a start, or I can't remember the centre back's name. He's just totally
Alex Murphy.
Alex Murphy, yeah, cheers, Iain. Or even someone like Osula, who has, he's in the first team, but he's not gotten a start. This is probably a good opportunity to maybe it's not start him, but give him longer than 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it was at the on the weekend, because this should be above his level. And again, I'm giving Wimbledon as much respect here, but he's a Premier League striker. He's starting for Sheffield United last season, or not much, but he was getting game time.
Yeah.
He's come on for us. Yes, okay, he didn't score last season, but he's still getting game time. He's still playing. So, if you can't do it against a League Two opposition, what you're doing playing for Newcastle, right? Like what's happening here? So, these type of players is what I think Mitchell would want to be seen starting up, or at least getting in the team sheet, at least on the bench and getting game time. So, I'm not saying Mitchell's going to be, forcing Eddie Howe to do this, but I think the higher ups maybe would like to see these youngsters getting some names on the sheets, or even getting into the starting 11 or breaking into the squad. This is the type of game where you would expect that to happen if that's your philosophy and that's what you're wanting to embed into the football team. And we've signed a few over the summer that maybe didn't feature pre-season. It's maybe a bit too early for them, but you're also going to, is it Alfie Harrison? There's a few of them who still at the team. We've got players who are ready to break in. It's not working with the current starting 11 at the minute. Maybe you need just a fresh bit of, young blood to come into the side and just grab it by the scruff of the neck and be like, okay, this is my chance. Like what Lewis Miley did last season.
It's
and
not
just
often.
surprise everybody. It doesn't
It's
happen
not
often.
It's not often that we've had the opportunity to play a team that was on paper is so far below us.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, our Megan Cup draws last season saw that we really couldn't rotate. Obviously, we had the injuries, so I would like to see like these players, like you say, like the Asulas of the world, to come in and just show what they've got. You look really good in pre-season, man, and a good he looks like quite a big physical presence, as I said earlier. Big number 9. Seen a bit of pace about him as well, and a good finish.
Mm-hmm.
So I rough up the defenders a bit, get them tired and see what you can do. I would like to see him get minutes.
He did okay yesterday. I mean, he held the ball up quite well, and there was a bit, he played the wrong pass.
Yeah,
he should have played it out wide. He played it through. It was still a good ball, and it got through. Just the player wasn't. It was just too early for the.
We're chasing
the
the game. We're desperate.
And,
people are tired.
He's 22, 23. He'll learn that in his
young.
game, and he'll get it through. But he didn't look out of place by any stretch of the imagination yesterday. So we'll see. Again, it could not happen, and it could feel the same team as he did yesterday. We'll see. We'll see what goes on there, because what Eddie Howe's like. He could just be quite stubborn in that regard and be like, no, it's my team. I'll pick who I want, and rightfully so as well. He is the manager of the football club, and I'm not suggesting for any second that Mitchell is going to have any influence on this. I'm just saying that's the philosophy that he's coming in. If it's that's what a director of football tries to do. We've got these youngsters at our disposal. You may as well use them if that's what's going to happen. But we'll see. You probably noticed again, we have no Daryl. But yet again, like the trooper he is, he has recorded a ref watch. So we do have one. We'll see if this referee was injured this week. I don't know if he was, but we'll have a little look. So here's Daryl with a pre-recorded ref watch.
Hi everyone. Ref watch for the game against Wimbledon in the EFL Cup on Tuesday evening, and the man in the middle for this one this time round will be Craig Pawson from South Yorkshire. Name we're already familiar with this season. He took charge of the opening weekend fixture at home to Southampton, a game that we won 1-0 after the sending off of Fabian Schär. That Southampton game was the third game in a row refereed by Mr. Pawson that Newcastle United have won. That's following on from the 3-0 win at Sunderland in the FA Cup in January, and also the home game in the Premier League against Brentford last season, which finished 1-0 to Newcastle United. So in this fourth game, we're hoping for 4 in a row. Let's see what we get out of it. Premier League record for Mr. Pawson this season stands at 3 games refereed, 1 red card, and 15 yellows in those 3 games. VAR for this one, there isn't one. Not in this competition at this stage. We're led to believe that there won't actually be any VAR officials needed in this competition until at least the semi-finals. Not quite sure how that's going to work if a lower league side gets to that stage of the competition, but we'll work it out as we get there. But yeah, for this one, no VAR officials, so it's just down to Mr. Pawson in the middle with his assistants in the ground.
There you are, Craig Pawson.
Thank you, Dasmo.
A very strict back ref watch, because there was obviously there's no VAR, so he didn't have to go into that.
Yeah, I don't think they release who the linesmen are either, or the assistants. So yeah, we just have Craig Pawson, who
he's doing all the roles, man. He's doing VAR, he's doing linesman duties.
Do the lot. Yeah, we'll do the lot. It must be a small ground plough lane, so we'll see. We'll see. You just do it all. It's got pockets. You'll have a pair of combat shorts on with 2 flags in and a whistle and a book and some cards. We'll see. Boys, we'll turn our attention to our predictions for this one. Iain, seems this is your first match preview of the season.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Welcome, by the way. And I don't think you did one last season either. Or maybe you did very few.
I was more of a match reaction.
You were more reaction boy, yeah.
So it's a good job. It's a good job I wasn't on yesterday's match reaction. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, well, I'm coming to you first. What's your prediction for this one?
I mean, everything says that. Again, I don't want to disrespect the AFC Wimbledon, but everything says that it should be a walk in the park. But as we all know, that's generally not the case in
You're
football.
going to
We've
get clipped for this. You're going to
We
get
are-
clipped for that.
No, I'm being very conservative, actually. We've struggled previously with teams in the lower leagues. Tranmere, I think we went behind in that game, had to come back. Obviously, the FA Cup against Chef Wed, we struggled in. I can see we're struggling again tomorrow. Is it? No, sorry. It's what day is it? Today? Sunday, Tuesday. Yeah, I can see we're struggling on Tuesday night. I think we'll have enough, but I think it'll be a very, very scrappy, hard to watch 2-1. I think we could even go behind and nick it late on. I don't think it'll be a good watch. I think it'll be more of the same, particularly if he does make changes. We're already, I wouldn't say disjointed, but we're not fluid like we used to be. And I think if you are making changes, there's more risk of sort of lessening the chemistry between the players that are playing. I think, like I say, I think we'll have enough, but it won't be pretty. And I think we'll edge it 2-1. That being said, you can clip this and we'll end up winning 8-0 or something like that.
There we go. 2-1 or 8-0. Joe, what's your predictions for this one?
Can I say 1-0 or 10? Is that how this works?
If
No,
you want.
Ian's taking the words right out of my mouth. Judging by how we've played against low league opposition, especially away, we always struggle against a low block. As I said earlier, we don't seem to have that penetrative.
Penetrative.
You can kind of see it.
I can say it.
All three were.
Ability to get through these teams, and I get it depends who he rests. If he rests Isak, it could be a hard watch again. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 win.
No,
I'm going to go for a 2-1 win.
Nice.
I think we'll do it. It's just going to be a really, really shit watch, to be quite honest. I think it's going to be pretty crap. United.
Well, I'm a little bit more confident. I'm expecting a massive reaction to the Fulham performance and result. I am also expecting a few changes to the team, and I'm expecting a couple of youngsters to start as well. I think that this is an opportunity for that. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 win. I think we'll get a clean sheet. I think that he'll tighten up the back line. I think Isak starts. And I think we're looking at an Isak hat-trick. So yeah,
Will that be his first for us?
It will be. I think it'll be his first. Is it his first career non-international? Right. He hasn't scored.
He's allergic to hat-tricks.
He is allergic to hat-tricks, but he's going to get one on Tuesday. So I'm going to go for 3-0. I think we're going to get a massive reaction to what happened. What has happened already this season, to be honest. And I just think the players are just going to. I think what's happened at the weekend has been a bit of a wake-up call to some of these players. Hopefully, again, you clip this if we'll have the worst game ever and we get beat 8-0. But I don't know. I'm not being a happy clapper or anything. I'm just hopeful that the players.
Well, you would expect to beat them, man. Would expect to beat them. Like you can't. It's not arrogant to say so.
Again, they're League Two opposition, but they have just beaten the Premier League side, and you've got to take that into consideration. If it goes to a draw, I don't back on penalties because we're confident it'll be too low based off what's going on with performances. But we've got to get it done in the 90 minutes, and I think 3-0 is a fair comment, a fair prediction. So yeah, I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to go for an Isak hat-trick. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Let us know in the comments below what your prediction is. Let us know what you think the lineup's going to be and how you think it's going to go. And if you're an AFC Wimbledon fan, answer the question we had at the start about whether you class yourselves with the old Wimbledon AFC or whatever. I can't remember what it used to be called, but with the old crew, or if you're a MK Dons or wherever, however that went, and educate one in the history of your club, because I think it was only 2002 or wherever it was where AFC Wimbledon come along. I was looking on Wikipedia before and I couldn't work it out myself. It was a bit hazy, but yeah, and let us know how Johnny Jackson's doing, your manager, and if you're happy with him, because I couldn't find too much about him either. So let us know in the comments below, Wimbledon fans. If you happen to watch this, we tried to get as much info, but there wasn't much to go on. There's no Wimbledon fan podcasts that we could find or anything like that to get a feel for this one. So yeah, let us know how you're feeling about this one. If you're confident, you should be, because we're not playing too great, but let us know. And while you're down there, hit the little thumbs up if you've liked it, hit the thumbs down if you haven't. engagement is what we need to get this video into other fans' hands on both Newcastle and Wimbledon sides so they can view this one. We've got a ton of comments on the match reaction. I think it's up in the 50s now. It helps just feed this into so many other people's feeds. So yeah, comment, like, and if you want to, you can subscribe. And when you hit that subscribe button, there's a little notification bell that comes up. And if you hit that, you'll be notified when new videos go live on the channel. And if you do want to go one step further, it's $2.99 a month to become a member, and that'll get you early access to videos like this one right here, as well as early access and exclusive access to content throughout the season on this channel. And I'm done. Boys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I can breathe. Ian, it's nice to see your clock ticking and showing the right
it works.
time.
That's the...
That's probably the reason why we're doing so shit this season. So can I
just
say that as well?
Well, no, because I'm sure...
Did you fix it last season?
I'm sure it had battery... I can't remember. I think it was partway through last season.
What do you mean when we start playing shit?
Champions League. I'm sure you did.
We got knocked out the Champions League.
That's what the $2.99 membership does. It funds batteries for my clock, so it doesn't ever stop again.
Although $2.99 will not buy you batteries these days. I found that out the hard way when I tried to get some double A's the other week. Anyway, thanks very much, everybody, for watching. We will see you in the next one. I think we'll be doing a match preview for Man City. There'll be a match reaction for this game. It probably won't be, hopefully it won't be as heated as the one for Fulham yesterday, but we'll see. And there's always smiling faces on tomorrow night, Monday, as you're watching this one. So see you all in the next one. Bye, everybody. Ta-da.